What's up, y'all? I'm doing Insector Beatrons for this deck list for the Theme Chronicle. So we got the 1 maxi. You can run 2 if you find that you're running into enough special summon decks to warrant 2. You could just add 1, or you would take out, I don't know, I'd say maybe the sword, or probably the primitive butterfly. I find myself not using it as much. So if you don't really need it as an extender or starter, 2 maxi. Then next we got the 3 ladybug. So Insectors, the way they work is one of the bigger level 3 Insectors, Centipede or Dragonfly, is their effects let you target one of the little Insectors or like Gigamantis in the graveyard and attach it to them. Ladybug lets you detach it from an Insector to increase its level by up to 2. Hornet lets you detach it from an Insector to destroy a card on the field. And yeah, you can send this card, destroy 1 card on the field, destroy that target. You can destroy your own cards if you want to, and I'll go into why that's relevant soon. It's been a while since we covered Insectors on the channel. So Insector Centipede, when a card attached to it, like an equip card attached to it, it goes to the graveyard. That includes these guys when they're attached to it. When the card goes to the graveyard, it lets you add an Insector card from your deck to your hand. So that's really relevant because whenever we use Hornet's effect to send Hornet to destroy a card in the field, we also get to get a card from our deck to our hand as well. Dragonfly has a similar effect, except instead of when it is sent, instead of adding a card, you actually get to special summon a card from deck. So it's basically an extender. One of the things I really like with this deck is if I ever have Dragonfly on board and I can attach more than one thing to it, like Gigamantis can attach himself, you can equip it with Zecaliber. I can attach one of those and then use its effect to attach Hornet, and then use Hornet to send whatever it's attached to it. I then get 2 special summons, and that extender becomes that much more dangerous. Next we have Ash Blossom. We're running 2 copies, pretty standard. We got the 3 BeeTrooper Scout Buggy. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. This card's normal summoned. You can special summon 1 BeeTrooper Scout Buggy for your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use this effect, the Scout Buggy, once per turn. You're pretty much only going to need 2 of them. It'd be neat if we could get the 3rd, but most of the time is just summon it, get the 2nd one, and you can instantly go into one of the many good Link 2s this deck has. You could also probably go into Cicada, right? Yeah, you could go into Cicada or Cicada. Next we have 2 BeeTrooper Scale Bomber. This card is surprisingly decent. If an insect monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except during the damage tap, you can special summon this card from your hand. This also works with Dragonfly up there, so it gives us an extender. When your opponent, when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, you contribute an insect monster and destroy it. You can only use each effect of BeeTrooper Scale Bomber once per turn. So this 2nd effect is decent. I wish it negated the effect too, but destroying it is also nice. One of the things I have used this against is Baron de Fleur. Like when I force them to negate me destroying the Baron de Fleur, like when I force them to negate the Hornet effect, I just go, oh, okay, I'm also going to destroy it now that you burned up your negate, so it's going away anyway. There's more useful things, I just can't really think of one right now, but it can be decent, and the fact that it's an extender is good for playing 2. Next we have Resonance Insect. We're running 2 copies of this guy. If you sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 5 or higher insect monster from your deck to your hand. If this card's banished, you can send 1 insect monster from your deck to the graveyard except Resonance Insect. So this is awesome because it lets us add Primitive Butterfly or Gigamantis or BeeTrooper Sting Lancer. And then when it's banished, allowing us to send 1 insect is also awesome because you can basically just send something you don't want, or if you haven't set it up yet, you can send Hornet or you can send Ladybug, and sending one of those is great because it's going to allow you to use the Dragonfly or the Centipede effect to do shenanigans. For some reason, I don't know why I normally like to do 3 Hornet, 2 Ladybug. I don't know why I had it backwards. Let's play the blinged out ones. But if you're finding you dead roll Hornet too much, you know, you can swap it out that way. Foolish Burial is also decent for this deck. I just really feel like I didn't have room. Maybe cut Permanent Butterfly and run Foolish if you want to do that. I think with Scale Bomber you kind of have enough extenders anyway. So, oh look, kind of more like this. Oh, do I not have Foolish Burial in here anymore? Oh, I just typed it wrong. Okay, I was like, what the fudge? But definitely something like that. Next we have BeeTrooper Assault Roller. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing an insect monster card from your graveyard. You can only special summon Assault Roller like this once per turn. There's some BeeTrooper Assault Roller once per turn this way. Gains 200 attack for each insect monster you control except this card. When it's destroyed by battle, you can add a BeeTrooper monster from your deck to your hand except Assault Roller, which is pretty cool. You can only use this effect of BeeTrooper Assault Roller once per turn. Gigamantis, he's the one that can attach himself in terms of like the Insectors. You don't need to use another Insector effect to attach him. You can if you want, but that kind of be a waste. So you can target a face-up Insector monster you control, equip this card from your hand to the target. If you do, that monster's original attack becomes 2,000. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can target one Insector monster in your graveyard except Gigamantis, special summon that target. You can only use this effect of Gigamantis once per turn. This is also a noteworthy extender to touch on, because let's say I have it attached to Dragonfly and I use I use his effect to attach me to Dragonfly, then I use Dragonfly effect to attach Hornet to Dragonfly, or let's say I use Dragonfly effect to attach Gigamantis to it, and then I have a Centipede on the field. I use Centipede's effect to attach Hornet to Centipede, and I use the Hornet to destroy the Gigamantis. I'll get the special summon from the deck and the special summon from the grave, and I get to add a card in that scenario. So, just good thing to keep in mind. And next we got BeeTrooper Sting Lancer. This card is awesome. During the main phase, quick effect, target an insect monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, place the targeted monsters on the bottoms of the deck. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a BeeTrooper spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Sting Lancer once per turn. So, this card is great, and it works really well with Resident Insect because you can remove the Resident Insect and then send a Hornet, which is awesome. Next we got Nibiru. To Insect Imitation. Insect Imitation is tribute one insect monster. Special summon an insect monster from your deck whose level is higher. Whose level is 1 higher than tribute a monster on the field. So you sacrifice one of the level 2s, you get one of the level 3. So if you brick this guy opening up, but you have Insect Imitation, you just summon him, Insect Imitation, get the 3, and then attach the Hornet, or attach the Ladybug if you're not in a situation to Hornet where you have to destroy something. But pretty decent combo. Next we have the 1 Foolish Burial, the 2 Pot of Desires. You generally run enough combo pieces to not worry about banishing 10. If you are worried about this, you can also run the other pot. Where is it? You run the Pot of Extravagance. I don't like this because the extra deck pieces are super important. You can also run Allure because most of your main guys are dark, but then you'll end up with like Buggy, who's not dark, or Scale Bomber, who's not dark, or Assault Roller and Resident Insect, who are not dark, and Sting Lancer, who's not dark. So you're pretty much forced to banish like one of these guys or maybe one of these guys, and I just don't see that being very good. That's why we have Desires. 1 Lightning Storm in case we go second or we get blown out and need it to try to come back. 2 BeeTrooper Descent, special summon 1 BeeTrooper token, Insect Earth level 3, attack 1,000, defense 1,000. Then if you control an insect monster with 3,000 or more attack, you can destroy one other spell or trap card on the field. You can only activate 1 BeeTrooper Descent per turn. So decent all around. Next we have BeeTrooper Landing. Lets you fusion summon one insect fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. If this card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish 2 insect monsters from your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can use this effect of BeeTrooper Landing once per turn. We use it to get into this guy. He's 4 insect monsters, and we'll get into his effect in a minute. Next we have Inzektor Sword's Excalibur. Equip only to an Inzektor monster, gains 800 attack and defense. If this face-up card in the field is sent to the graveyard, target one Inzektor monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So, really decent for recurring things. Next we have BeeTrooper Formation. You can target one BeeTrooper monster in your graveyard, special summon it. It cannot attack this turn. Also, you lose life points equal to its original attack. If a face-up insect-type monster you control be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can special summon one BeeTrooper token. You can only use this effect of you can only use each effect of BeeTrooper Formation once per turn. So if you're gonna lose a card, at least you get a token to replace it, which it's something. 1 Called by the Grave, 2 Infinite Imperm, and then 1 BeeTrooper Flying Sting. When your opponent activates a monster effect but you control a BeeTrooper monster, negate the activation. If you do destroy it during your end phase, if this card is in your graveyard and you control an insect monster with 3000 or more attack, you can banish 1 insect monster from your graveyard, set this card. You can only use 1 BeeTrooper Flying Sting effect per turn and only once that turn. So, extra deck time. Ultra BeeTrooper Absolute Hercules. After this card is fusion summoned, it's unaffected by other cards' effects until the end of your next turn. At the end of the battle phase, you can target 1 insect monster with 3000 or more attack in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use this effect of Ultra BeeTrooper Absolute Hercules once per turn. Next we have number 3 Cicada King. If the battle position of this card is changed, so if you turn it to attack or defense, you can special summon 1 insect monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. When a monster effect on the field activates, you can detach 1 material from this card, target that monster, negate its effect, make 1 insect monster on the field either gain 500 defense, or change its battle position. You can only use each effect of number 3 once per turn. So, pretty neat. Negate the effect and then turn its position and summon something. Kind of nice. Next we have Exciton Knight. 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase. If your opponent has more total cards in their hand and on the field than you do, quick effect. Detach 1 material from this card. Destroy all other cards on the field. Your opponent takes no further damage this turn. So this is basically Proto Zeus almost. And then we have the real Zeus next to it. And then we have 3 Inzektor Picophelina. This card's amazing. It's any 2 insect monsters. When it's link summoned, you can discard a card, target 1 other insect monster you control, and equip 1 insect monster from your deck to it as an equip spell that gains this effect. The equipped monster gains 500 attack defense. So this effect is great because I can make this, and then I can equip this with something from my deck, or this with something from my deck. So let's say I have, let's say I'm going second and I'm doing shenanigans and I get this and this in my hand. I can play this, I can use the effect, special summon something else, summon out this. If the summon's successful, I typically wait because if you get ashed on this, it sucks. And then I have 3 monsters on board. I can use this effect after I use the effect or whatever, summon from this, of course. I can use this effect. Oh, sorry, we have 2. I forgot I had Phoenix in there. And then we can go into this. We can use this effect, target it, get it another card effect to use, like a second Hornet or a Ladybug. Get another special summon, destroy another card if we wanted to. So just decent all around there. And its second effect is you can target 3 insect monsters in your graveyard, including a copy of this. Shuffle them into the deck, draw 1 card. You can only use each effect of Inzektor Picophelina once per turn. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Shinobi Insect Haragumi. This card's eh. If you do find yourself needing Picophelina more, run 3 of that instead of this dude. 2 monsters with different names. While this card points to a monster, your opponent can't target this card for attacks. If a monster this card points to destroy a battle or card effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower insect monster from your hand or grave, and banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Haramoka Shikobi once per turn. The next 3 BeeTrooper Armor Horn. You can't special summon monsters except insect monsters. You can only use each effect of the following effects of BeeTrooper Armor Horn once per turn. During your main phase, after this effect resolves, normal summon one insect monster. So yet another extender. If this card's in your graveyard, you can banish 3 other insect monsters from your graveyard, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So, also really good because you can bring this out and it's a link 2 and you can link Ladder Climb. Next we got Nightmare Unicorn. Saphirum Papillon, 2 plus monsters with different names, and link 3, so you'll need 3 monsters. Gains 200 attack for each counter on it. You can only use one of the following effects per turn, only once this turn. If this card's link summoned, it gets a counter on it for each insect monster used as material. And then quick effect, you can remove 1 counter from this card, special summon 1 level 4 or lower insect monster from your graveyard in defense position. So that effect is awesome because that is just a great extender. And then next we have Opalus Above the Goddess, and finally Big Mac Daddy Giant BeeTrooper Invincible Atlas. 2 plus insect monsters. It is a link 4, so you're going to be having 4 boys go to it, but it's not a big deal because with this you really only need 2 other monsters. When this link summon card has 3,000 or less attack, so when it has its normal starting attack, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. It can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. You contribute 1 insect monster, then activate one of these effects. Special summon 1 BeeTrooper monster from your deck. This card gains 2,000 attack until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect of Giant BeeTrooper Invincible Atlas once per turn. And that's it for this deck profile. I hope that you guys liked it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.